Today we're going to discuss how to become more financially successful. So this does sound very easy the way I'm putting it, but I promise you it's not. To become more financially successful, there are many ways to do this, but they are hard and it is hard to stay within the limits. I do have a few tips which will show long-term effects and short-term effects. For example, one of my main tips I have is setting yourself financial goals. These are realistic goals to your field of work. For example, you're an 18-year-old which is working in a local supermarket. You're earning £300, £400 a month. That's a struggle because if you're working hard and that's all you're getting.
Of course,
But that's the job you're working at. So, what do? Do you spend your money, invest it in stock markets, for example, or cryptocurrency trading? Or do you go and buy yourself a pair of Gucci shoes? I think I know which one I'd pick. So you've been working all month and you're going to buy yourself a pair of Gucci shoes. That is not the smart thing to do if you only have £300, £400 in your bank account. You want to put that money away and just keep saving to a certain goal which can make you more money. For example, selling shoes. Shoes is a big market, it's a big industry. And obviously I'm going to make another video on how to buy shoes, how to sell shoes, because I've been in the business myself. But my number one goal is to just set yourself financial goals. For example, like I said, get yourself some knowledge on stock markets, on how they work, and you can get yourself set and make some more money. Turn that £300, £400 into £800, and then turn that £800 into 1.5k. I think you're getting the flow. Also, other tip is do not get yourself in debt. That's one of the number one things you can't do. You can't, because you're now, say for example, you get yourself in debt because you bought yourself a nice BMW. Now you've got the car, but you're paying it off. While you should be earning money, you're just still paying off the item you have. These are luxury items which you do not need. You do not need a car. You do need a car, but you do not need a luxury car. You can get yourself a little £300, £400 car that should do the job to get you places. You do not need a luxury BMW if you cannot physically afford it. If you cannot pay up front for that car, you do not need it. I say this time and time again. If, for example, you want to buy something, if you can't buy that item 3 or 4 times, it means you can't afford it. You don't need it. If you can't afford it 3 or 4 times, buy it up front. And you don't afford it. And this links into the other topic I'm about to mention, is buy within your limits, which is basically what I meant. For example, you got 1.5k in your bank account, you go and buy yourself a Moncler coat for £900, you're worth a couple £100 in your bank account. That's stupid, because you worked hard and you just went and bought yourself a coat. Like I said, it links in with what I said about spending in your limits and not going in debt. You'd want to spend in your limits. If you can't buy the item 3 or 4 times, you can't afford it. The other tip I have is check your bank accounts regularly. For example, 1 month you spend £500. Make sure you check that, and then the next month, say you spend £800. Have a look through why you've spent that much more. Why you spent £800 that month and not £500. What's gone on? If it's obviously like a one-time thing, you had to buy something you really needed for your house, for example a couch or whatever, it's fair enough, but just you need to make sure you're looking for your bank accounts month and month in to see irregular payments, why you're spending more money, what days you're spending more money, how can you reduce that cash flow. I mean, personally, I check my bank accounts every single day to know what I'm spending my money on, because if I don't know what I'm spending my money on, it doesn't make me feel well. I don't feel good with it. So yeah, just make sure you check your bank accounts regularly. Another tip I have is, this is a big one, this is a really big one for me, finding other sources of income. This is a huge one for me. If you've only got one job, you're only working that same job, you're getting stressed, you can't function properly after a while. So a good thing to do is get another job, have another source of income. For example, if you work in a part-time job in, I don't know, Lidl's, Sainsbury's, then what you could do is, for example, start selling on eBay something you're passionate about. For example, I'm quite passionate about shoes. I love my shoes. Start selling shoes. Buy, sell shoes. If you're passionate about football, if you love your football, make football videos. Try and get yourself out there. TikTok, YouTube, anything. Or if you just want another job, for example, you could, I don't know, get yourself into security, just another field of work. Having 2 incomes is better than one. You're getting, for example, £9 on one job, and you're getting £8 in another job. That's what, £17 an hour basically. It's worth it. Get yourself another job or another source of income. That's a really big one for me. 2 sources, 3 sources is better. For example, you could be working 2 jobs and on top of that doing something online, getting money, trading currencies, stock markets, anything. It's a big thing for me. Also, you could be find yourself a work partner. By this I mean if you're trying to open up a small business, or you're trying to just, for example, even sell shoes, sell on Depop, sell on eBay. Find yourself a person who you trust and who's close to you and has got the same interest. That is a big thing. If, for example, you want to sell shoes, but he doesn't want to sell shoes, there won't be the levels of trust and the levels of commitment. It needs to be 50-50 in terms of commitment. You both need to put the same amount in. Find yourself a partner who really, really wants to do what you're doing, and you want to strive and get money. Keep it simple. Keep it very simple. That's another tip. It's all, just don't go overboard with things. I'm making it sound like I'm just blabbing away, but always keep it basic. Try to stay to the basic stuff in terms of how you're spending your money. In terms of business, do not go out. For example, you got, I don't know, you got a little business going on. You're selling stuff. Don't go overboard. Don't start. If, say, for example, your one item is selling, everyone wants it, and you're bringing other items in which no one wants because you're just going overboard. Keep to what's good. Keep to what needs to sell. What's selling, keep it to that. Just keep it to what sells, what gets out there. That's the main thing. To be honest, that's all the tips I have for you. Also, actually, I have one more. Try grow yourself. Grow yourself. Get yourself out there. If you've got a little business going on, get it on Instagram. Get everyone to share it. Get yourself on the biggest platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Get your face out there. Make sure everyone knows. Or finding someone, a person, for example, on Instagram who can shout you out, get you them views. It's good spending your money on them type of things. It's an investment. I say investments are the most important things. And that's all I have for you, man. Stay tuned for other videos.